Hey guys, so you may have seen my post from yesterday or the day before that said, do hard things. And I showed a picture of my archaeological study Bible opened to the book of Leviticus, because Leviticus can be a hard book to get through. And I hear over and over and over how people it's like they read Genesis and Exodus and then they get to Leviticus and the wheels just fall off. Look, I get it. And I just completed my study of Exodus and I literally got to Leviticus and was like, I think I'm going to just jump to Joshua. But I felt the Lord kind of just prompting me and being like, no. Don't skip. And so my goal is just to kind of share with you how and why I am embracing the book of Leviticus. The number one thing I want to share with you is that the book of Leviticus is about God's holiness. And it's the call for his people to not only recognize and be obedient because of his holiness, but also to act as a holy people as well. To act as holy just as their God is holy. And not that they're going to be perfect, but that these are things that he is asking of them. And so the introduction that is in this study Bible was really good. And I wanted to just share a couple of things that I took away that I thought were really helpful. And it talks about how, because the verse is verse 19, Leviticus 19:2, be holy because I, the Lord your God, am holy. This is the overwhelming message of the book of Leviticus. Spiritual holiness is symbolized by physical perfection or purity, as well as by separation from the world. Guys, this resonates with me so much because, yes, we are called by our God to be pure. And it also even mentions physical perfection. And again, we live in a sinful nature, and so nothing that we do is going to be perfect, but we must strive for purity. We must strive for physical perfection. And that's just in the way that we act in our daily lives. Are we living lives obedient unto the Lord? And are we seeking to look different from the world around us, which was the goal for God the Father with the Israelites. He wanted them to look different than the surrounding tribes and the surrounding people. And you know, I talk a lot about health and physical health. And guys, I think this applies as well. We are to look different than the rest of the world. We are not to just take for granted our physical bodies that God has given us. We must treat them with respect and obedience and take good care of them. And that goes right to what are we eating? What choices are we making every day? Are we being active and taking care of our physical bodies? And again, I always tell my kids, hey, you are supposed to look different from the rest of the world. Do you stick out? And in my opinion, it's in a good way, because you are making choices because you want to honor God, because you love God, and because you want to be obedient to God. So this really goes right along with this book. Since no human being is perfect, God provided the Old Testament sacrificial system as a means of atonement. In this system, a life was to be given for a life. This temporary arrangement is no longer necessary, for Jesus' death paid the penalty for sin once for all time and for all people. That is another reason why this book is so important, to understand what the people back in the day did to atone for their sin. And it is such an enormous pointing to the future of the requirement of the death of Jesus on the cross. And just how we should embrace that and be so thankful that we do not have to be part of this sacrificial system that existed in the Old Testament, because God the Son was willing to die on a cross for us. And so much meaning behind all of this. And I know sometimes we can get so bogged down by the details, but God is in the details, and I really think there's a lot that we can learn. And as I go along, I plan to kind of share some tidbits that I take away. But this is just an encouragement. Don't skip the book of Leviticus. It points us to God's holiness and helps us to understand, how we should revere Him today and how we should live our lives today. So seek to be pure in your life. Seek physical, physical perfection. And again, that is our physical bodies, also our spiritual, and just the way that we live our lives. And so hopefully there'll be more to come that I can share out of the book of Leviticus. If you have your own comments or thoughts on this, I would love to hear from you. Or maybe you're studying a different book of the Bible right now. I would love to hear that as well. So thanks for listening. Hope it was helpful.